Okay. Good afternoon, everyone here, my good friends. I've been here since 2004 at leadership conferences. And I'm very glad to be here today because it is a great honor for me to be here to contribute to you what I have learned in my 54 years of teaching experience. Yeah, I am now retired, but I cannot stop learning because as it was introduced, I am always in the classroom with the student. Now that I retired, I still want to meet my students. And I refuse to go back to schools, but I want to be more a personal teacher. And so today I'm actually giving tuition, and I have an opportunity to go into the homes of a student, meet the parents, meet the learning that is taking place in the house. And then I adjust my learning according to the needs of the child. So this is a very different scenario for me from the classroom teaching where I was facing 30 students or 40 students at one go. But whatever it is, I find out that I am still with one-to-one. I can stay with the child even for 3 hours, engaged when the mother tells me I can't make him sit still. So I feel very happy to go and help such students today. But today, what I am actually trying to share is how can the teacher be ready for the future world. Very often, teachers get stuck in the classroom. They feel that they have to do so many things. But if you really look, we are talking about curriculum, we are talking about the classroom, we are talking about parents, we are talking about how things should be taught. But did we ever think about the teacher who is actually spending hours in the classroom? Have you ever thought of that? Have they ever thought, as the world thought about us as teachers? They make a lot of demands on us teachers. And actually, at the heart of every education system, an incredible responsibility has been given to the teacher because she has to prepare the students for the unpredictable world outside when they leave school. So, great teachers are actually engineer their learning experiences and put students in the driver's seat. Hopefully, they remember what they learn and they do not meet with accidents. But what happens is, the greatest challenge for a teacher is change. Change is happening so fast that when the school says, now you have to give self-directed learning, or you must give active learning, or you must now get projects to students, the change takes time. So often the teacher is in a dilemma. So let us all look. Do you all have papers on your table? Yeah. Can you answer this question? Try to answer this question. What is the role of a teacher in the school? What are the demands made for the teacher? Just think. Anyone can shout an answer if you have. Huh? Active teacher, is it? Adaptable to change, okay? What are the roles that she plays in the school? What does the principal tell her to do? What are the head of department tell her to do besides teaching in the classroom? Huh? Okay, to be a role model. Is that all that they ask you? Think deeply. Huh? Motivator.
Facilitator.
You're telling everything what an ideal teacher should be. But I want to ask you, what does the school ask the teachers to do? Huh?
Portion in time. Complete the portion in time. Yeah.
Besides that, what else?
To inspire
Do you all just go into the classroom and just teach only? You clean the classroom, right? Yes, so you are the cleaner. Yes, what else do you do? You are the clown, yes. You have to act like a clown, entertain. What else do you have to do besides that content that you deliver?
So I connect with children.
Pardon?
I would connect with children.
Connect, how? How do you connect?
Being very empathetic with them.
You listen to them, right?
Yeah, empathy.
Yeah, so you are a
listening.
listener, right?
Yeah.
So let us just look at the next slide. See. Teacher wears many hats. They can be a communicator as what they really want us to be. Then we have to be a counselor. Then we have to be a mentor. We have to be a manager. We have to be a disciplinarian. We have to be an evaluator. And it can go on and on and on. Huh? They will say you are even the dietitian, you are the librarian, you are the nurse, you are the mechanic also. They give us all kinds of roles. Okay? And still teachers continue teaching. They do not take the pressure, the stress of that. And we blame teachers that they are not fast to change. Now how do you change if you are given so much of work to do? Huh? So what is the attitude of the teacher in the classroom? What is your expectation, or what's the school's expectation when you step into the classroom? Any answers? Yes, must be caring, yes. You have to be a disciplinarian. Must be a active teacher, mentoring.
All-rounder teacher.
All-rounded, yeah, that's the best answer. You have to be all-rounded at all times, yeah? So the demands made on the teacher is very, very great. And then in the classroom, what happens? The child says, can I go to the bathroom? And then you say, may I go to the bathroom? And then Mintu looks at the teacher and says, but I asked first. Didn't catch the point, right? And what do you do? What do you do when children do not respond to you when you you have a certain expectation? What do you do? Are you going to scold the child? Or are you going to just enjoy that moment? Do we as teachers really enjoy the moment? So, a great teacher has to be pure. Has to be pure. Have the passion. Have the urge to help. Have the right attitude. And expect good at all times. You cannot get caught in the frustrations that occur in the classroom. You have to move on. All right? Why? Why is it so important? Because we teachers affect eternity. Just think of it. How important a teacher is in the life of a student. And how much respect do we give to the teacher? How much of empathy do we have for teachers? Today, parents are ever ready to send a letter of complaint, not to the teacher, not to the principal, but to the Ministry of Education. They take action. But did they know what kind of trials the teacher goes through every day in the classroom? No. So, the teacher has to be groomed at all times to be positive. We just have to be cool, to take in the stride of all these things that happen in our classroom. So, how do we make a stress-free classroom when we encounter so many difficulties? So, you will ask me, what is the role of the teacher in the classroom? The teacher has to be caring, has to be passionate, must be competent, must be respected, must be creative, must be humble, and the list can go on and on and on. So the demands made on the teacher is very high. And the most important thing is what happens when there is a discipline problem. How do we as teachers react to a discipline problem? Do we have a right to discipline the child? Ask your conscience. How often a teacher is penalized when she actually disciplines a child? Ginger, are you talking on the cell phone during instruction time again? And what the child is doing? Secretly using the phone. And what should the teacher do? And this can go on with, if you have 40 children, 40 different things will happen, right? So the role of the teacher is very often not seen in the true light. Very often, the teacher is a struggling person who is trying to keep pace with change, with the type of students, and minimize all the complaints from parents. Look, complaints are many, but nobody is saying a thank you to you. So, if a role of a teacher is just to be a facilitator or a dispenser of knowledge or managing the discipline in the class, we must understand the challenges are very great. So in my 54 years of being a teacher, I think 3 essential qualities are very important for the future-ready teachers. First of all, you must be a lifelong learner. If you step into the classroom and you do not know that children today are different, you are in big trouble. And if you are not adaptable, as that someone said from the audience, we have to be adaptable. And most of all, we must have the openness. So the role of the teacher is very crucial, to be sane and to create in the classroom a stress-free learning environment. So you heard from my colleagues that how the classroom environment should be safe, should be stress-free, should be conducive to engage the students in a happy environment. So, as a young teacher, when you are climbing up the ladder, first you just say how fascinating the world is, and then you realize, oh my God, there are so many complexities in teaching today. I have to learn and learn and learn and never end. How do I deal with this problem today? And the context, the contents that we deliver, is it relevant? Is it necessary? We have to question. We cannot just keep teaching what we had taught 20 years ago. We need to make changes. And only the teacher knows best, because she's the one who delivers the lesson. And so, to be a future-ready teacher, you must be a lifelong learner. Now, we are very lucky in Singapore. We have training for teachers all the time. The government spends a lot of money on us to make us competent teachers in the classroom. If this support is not given to us, I think many of the teachers would be found in the mental hospital. Yeah, they become insane. The pressure is really great. Okay? So, the next thing is adaptability. Because things change so fast, innovation, technology. And the type of students today are different. They're dyslexic children, ADHD children. They're children with so many problems that even their parents can't help them. They show tantrum. We were in the hotel and we saw a girl. She screamed and shouted. Her mother is helpless. Now, how will this child come to a classroom and adapt to the learning environment there? I tried. Jaya tried to talk to her. She wouldn't look at us. Her mother said, "Say good morning, good morning." She just gave us a glare. She didn't listen to her parents. At that very young age, they are not taught respect. And teachers have to deal with that when they enter the classroom. So they have to tailor their approaches to meet the demands. But most of all, you also need to be a good listener, because there can be a blind spot which we don't see. So unless you discuss and have sharing sessions, you will not be able to see your own mistakes. Now, if we remain as a classroom instructor, at the beginning of the year, it seems all fun. Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to start doing the best. And then you find, oh no, what happened? You're all ruffled up. And, you get so worried. What happened? I'm not getting the results that I need. And the data analysis shows that the students are unable to express their thoughts and views clearly. I did my best. Then what happened? And then you ask, why? Why on earth is this happening? Why are the children not able to do what I have taught them? And the problem can continue and continue. And we want to make a change. We want to turn the clock. Then you say, oh my gosh, I can't remember what I have done. What am I going to do? How am I going to deal next year? And then we can become very alone and dejected. So often the morale of the teacher is low. And if we do not help the teacher, she will be really helpless. So we are very fortunate. We have the Ministry of Education really keeping up with the trends that are happening, helping our teachers. They groom, they give in-service courses. They always address the problems and give us the support. And teacher training is very important to help the teacher. Now, I like to share with you at this point my journey as a teacher researcher. How did I have no doctorate, I'm nobody, I'm only a classroom teacher. How did I become a researcher? How did I ever write a paper? The reason is, one day, I saw Elise has put up on my desktop, we have messages flash, that we can become researchers. My gosh, what can they do? They can give us technical support, they can give us the resources, they can help us to conduct data analysis and even write up our project. And when I saw that, at the age of 73, how do you think I feel? No, no need to do. Why should I do this? I'm already going to retire. No way. I say it's so attractive. They are going to help me to be a researcher, and I have the background knowledge. I have been a teacher. I know my content. Why not? I tried. And they said, when I went for the workshop, it's systematic, it's intentional, it's inquiry, and it's carried out by teachers in their own school, in their classroom. Hey, why not? I said to myself. And I became a teacher researcher. Why? Because it brings about positive learning outcomes. All I have to do is to continue being a teacher, and I can adopt ways to measure, get feedback, how well it is affecting my students and the learning curve. So it's very easy. They told me it's only a circle of inquiry. You have a problem, you refine the problem, you identify the goals, you make a plan, action plan, take action, analyze the data. It seems so easy. Why not? And they say there are many types of research, but you can choose. Of course, I took qualitative research. That is the easiest, because all I have to do is to describe how I went about teaching in the classroom. And all I have to do is to make observations and analyze the students' work, how effective my lessons were. And so the research started with 5-6 cycles. First is in the context of the school. What is the problem? Next, why do I want to do it? What is the question in my mind? Read up how other educators are dealing with it, collect data, and reflect. So, step 1, my teachers in my level and I started on our research. And the biggest problem was, why can't they write? Why can't children write? So when we looked at it, we saw that in the past, how our minds worked is, we are given a picture and we say write sentences. Or we are given a picture, fill in the blanks. And today, it's not like that. Today, it's picture composition. It's a story. 8-year-olds, primary 2 children, have to write a picture composition. You know how difficult it is even for adults to write a story? And we are making demands on our children to write a story. Compose a story. Describe the event that takes place in 4 pictures given in sequence. And what do we give them? Some helping words. My goodness gracious. If you just give them helping words, do you think they can write a story? Definitely not. Yeah? So, the difficulties are, what are the difficulties we investigated? And we said they cannot express their thoughts and views clearly. They cannot expand on their own ideas. They only write short sentences. Most ideas not connected. Very interesting, few interesting details. So we merged to step 2. What is this? what is the purpose of this research paper? I want to have a creative world where our children can learn to write more creatively. And what did we do? We had training for this. We learned drama techniques that will help students to write more creatively. And it will give clarity in their thinking, provide the links to make the story, and also give the missing links between the events. So we said, wow, this is the best way we can approach the problem. And we went on to step 3, our research question. What is the first question? Will drama techniques allow visible thinking, influence skillful writing in the schools? Second question, will there be an increase in the use of words in skillful writing when children are given a list of words generated through drama? Third question, will more students write about the internal perspectives of the characters? Can they talk about the characters in the story with more details? Because they have gone through the drama techniques. And so the title of my paper is Using Visible Thinking in Drama Techniques for Skillful Writing. So step 4, we have to read about the literature. The literature review is very crucial because we have to align. We have to know what is invisible thinking. We need to know what are the drama techniques. And we must know what have the findings of other researchers. And so, we looked into invisible thinking and drama techniques. So, we found out that invisible thinking allows teachers to become facilitators, and they can actually document what happened during the drama techniques. And other researchers also said that when children are engaged in discussions and they are able to take roles, it becomes experiential and their imagination is aroused. How wonderful is it? Let's do this. And most of all, what we were happy is it leads to persuasive writing. Why? Because it's experiential. Children had gone through a process. Now it is stress-free. It's not just a list of words, but it is coming from an experience. So the strategy we adopt is role play, stimulate imagination, word splash, use thinking tool templates. And so this was our action research plan. And this is done by a teacher in the classroom for her students with the knowledge of the head of departments and the school administrators. It is not pushed upon her, but it is taking a course with her own initiative. So, there will be challenges. Nothing can happen without challenges. We say stress-free, stress-free, but it is important to have some positive stress. Then it makes us think, what's the challenge? So, there were 3 challenges. What are the drama techniques we are going to adopt for the 8-year-olds? What should the student do? And how will the teacher investigate And we found that the teacher must develop questioning techniques. It's not only the child who has to be enrolled, but the teacher has to tease out what is going on inside their head and put it down, document it, and then use it for creative writing. So the drama strategies we used were this. Now, first phase, mime, soundscape, narration, and mime. And this is for 4 weeks. We want to define space. We want to have soundscape where children listen to sounds and respond to sounds. And then teachers must come up with narration scripts so that they can walk the child through a mime. And the 3 topics that the child was required to write in that first term was underground adventure. So it's aligned with the schoolwork. It's not something additional. It's something which we have to do. But we are doing it in a very meaningful, purposeful way so that we want to achieve success at the end of the road. So today, all of you have to stand up. Come on, stand up, and I want you to walk through a mime. And I do not want you to talk. I just want you to be enrolled as I narrate to you. Use your facial expressions. Use your body movements. Use your imagination and respond. Okay? Ready? Are you all ready? Ready, yeah? Okay. Now let's go. Today, children, I call you all children today, yeah? Today, children, we are going on an exciting adventure. Come on, show excitement. I must see faces. Yeah, no sound, only mime. Mime is without sound. Adventure. Are you ready? Show signs. And are you coming to explore with me? Just put up your hands, just show the sign. Now we are going underground. Put on your boots. Come on, put on your boots. It may be wet and slippery. There will be lots of rocks too. Tie your laces. Come on, everyone, put on your helmet. Put on your helmet, strap it under your chin. And make sure your helmet is secure. And keep walking. Walk. Everybody walk. Just wherever you are, walk. You have to teach them space constraint, okay? So wherever they are, they can do it. Look around you. Come on. Everybody look. You are in a big cave. It's very dark. And you can't see clearly. But listen to the sounds. You can hear slow drip, drip, drip of water. Far away, there is a waterfall. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. It's slippery. Be careful. Watch where you put your feet. You are standing on a narrow ledge. Be careful. Be steady. Walk carefully. Don't slip. You are safe now. You give a sigh of relief. Sit down. That was indeed a great adventure. So you have made an imaginary world. Okay? So you can continue. So the second phase, we teach more techniques and we do thought talk. How much time do we have? 5 minutes. Okay. Thought tracking and thought tapping. This is very important because when you do this drama technique, you all can Google and find out. Because my time is short, I can't go in detail. But if you do, if you all have your phones, you all can just Google and say what are the drama techniques. You can learn from them. Okay? So we did 1 year. All the compositions were written with this strategy. And there's hot seating, there's overhead conversations, and visible thinking came alive. Why? Because students enroll, speak aloud. Students are committed further to think because of questioning techniques, and the responses are captured. And this is our plan for the whole year. And this is the procedure which we adopted. And this is what the children do. This is the templates to capture their thinking. Okay? So it's very interesting when there is a story with 3 different characters. They can identify the differences. In a bully, there is often a wimp. So how does a wimp behave? How does the schemer behave? They write in details, character sketches. And then we ask them what happened before, what happened after, because they have to link the story. And this is the data we collected, and this is the stories that our students wrote. We correct them, and finally, this is the end result. Lydia woke up early in the morning to prepare for her mother's birthday. She rushed to her brother's room to remind him about their mother's birthday. He was still sleeping soundly. Where did these words come? They were all in the drama techniques captured on paper. And streaks of light, sunlight, was coming into the room. The clock was going tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. She shook him well. He woke up. Lydia was a caring and kind girl who did not forget her mother's birthday. She placed a vase of lovely flowers, a beautifully wrapped present, and a card on the dining table. She also prepared some ham sandwiches for her mother. Finally, Lydia carried a tray with a pot of coffee along with 4 cups and placed them on the dining. You see the details that children write? How did this come about? It's because of drama techniques. And half an hour later, Lydia's brother came to the kitchen. He saw what Lydia was doing. He put a frying pan and fried the eggs. Meanwhile, Lydia's parents had woken up and they walked into the dining room. They had a pleasant surprise. Mother praised Lydia and her brother, and Lydia took her mother to the table. Why? She said, you see the details? And Lydia's mother enjoyed the food and had the best birthday ever. So our findings shows that drama gives freedom to express feelings. The children emerge as actors, improve their language skills, they develop their imagination, they are motivated to collaborate, and skillful writing takes place, explicit explanation of events, characters are motivation, and intentions are recorded. And there is well-constructed sentences because they have been, through drama, they were using the language. And very experiential and creative and realistic. So the student engagement is increased. They compose stories, they listened, they took leadership roles, and they presented their work. So that's how I became a teacher researcher. Can you imagine me? How late in my life I have started research? I never thought I would do it actually. So with the support of my Singapore Ministry of Education and the ELIS department, I am today. You can actually Google